you have to be on a united front. You have to be moving in the same direction for you to go far. You can go, you know, you can go fast. You can get rich. But for us as a people to go far, we got to go together.
What's up, people? Welcome to this episode of the By the Hood podcast or webcast, because I don't know how you're consuming this content. I'm your host as always. My name is Jimmy, and as we start off every show, that's with gratitude. Shout out to all of our members from our MDC strategy group, as well as the youth from the By the Hood ownership camp, and anybody in By the Hood University overall. I want to send a shout out to all you guys. Shout out to all of our supporters, YouTube subscribers, anybody watching this on YouTube. Do all the YouTubian stuff, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. But I got my partner in crime, Court McCore. What's good?
What's really good, man? Every day above ground is a good day, so let's go get it.
All right, man. Listen, man. Our show is designed to talk about all issues pertaining to Black wealth and personal finance and that intersection there. So some days we'll be talking about ETFs or investment strategies, and most of the time we talk about issues of Black wealth. This week is very interesting because within our culture and our community, all the talk has been about what happened in Alabama, by the river, as that old song says, by the river. All right, but listen, anyway, so no, we're not going to talk about the specifics of that. We're not going to talk about, the brother swimming or the chair or, what I'm saying, none of that. But it led to a conversation that we were just talking about, me and Core. Our new thing with our pod is just to have these conversations in front of you guys, conversations that we have anyway. And we were talking about Black unity as it pertains to Black wealth. Like, what does unity mean in terms of Black wealth? Because a lot of people were excited in our community because they felt that energy, that unity that they saw in that video. But when Corey and I were talking about is not necessarily that specific video, but when we talk about conversations of community and building together and building nations and building wealth for our community, how important is unity in that? So I'm just going to lead the conversation like this, Core. When you saw that and then trying to relate that to the conversation that we were having about unity, what part do you think unity plays in the evolution of our people in terms of building wealth?
Relationships are everything, so unity is part of it. You have to be on a united front. You have to be moving in the same direction for you to go far. You can go, you can go fast. You can get rich. But for us as a people to go far, we got to go together. And a lot of people don't believe that. So, as long as they good, I'm good. My life is good. I could travel. I can floss on the net. I can say whatever I want. You know what I mean? That's they whole, floss mode. And I don't have a problem with people who exhibit a skill and then, shine on people when their skill is out there. But unity is more important than skill, to be honest, right? Because if we of the same mind, we can go further. We don't have to all think exactly alike, but like me and you, we argue all the time about stuff. But there's one thing we don't argue about is that Black people are what we are interested in. You know what I mean? Like, we mission focused.
Yeah.
So when you mission focused, it ain't nothing else. You know what I mean? All the other arguments can be satiated. All the other arguments can be tamped down. But you can't. We have to agree on the mission. That's really what it is.
So that's what I was going to ask you, right? Because a lot of times that's where we fall short, is agreeing on what the mission is, right? Because some of the commentary that I saw, and I saw so much commentary based around that video, but it was interesting where the conversations went. I was just trying to get some memes off, so don't mind me, y'all. I'm gonna get memes off on every major event, so don't mind me and don't take offense to any of my memes. But what was interesting is the conversations about if we only supported each other like this all the time, or if we, and I saw one that said, if that was black people rolling on the one black guy, and nobody would have helped. Like, it was so much negativity. But even the idea of if we only supported each other all the time, then some of the issues that rubbed me completely the wrong way, Pauls. And the reason it rubbed me the wrong way is because
man, that's goofiness.
I've said this in on our Friday show several times. Like, the whole idea that a lot of us run around with is we don't support each other enough. Like, that's dead to me.
Oh, that's fugazi.
That's dead to me, because everything that I am and everything I have,
it's because somebody black helped me get there.
Yeah. So, so that idea of we don't support each other is BS. Now, with that being said, is there more that we can do to support each other? Yes, and that includes me. Sometimes I think I fall short, and I do a lot. But it's like I'm always waking up thinking, how can I do more to support people and pull people up that look like me?
But that's a mission, though, right? A lot of people don't wake up with that mission. And so we both wake up with a similar mission, right? And so, which is why things that we do work. But a lot of people don't wake up with that mission, and so they not on the same type of time we on, and that's okay. I'm not mad at them. I'm just saying, like, it's hard for us to pull the wagon in one direction when everybody else is pulling in another direction, right? Some people say unity, like we was talking about with Nelly Fuller Jr. and Charles Blow. Some people say we should stay away from each other. Charles Blow thinks we should all move together, and then that'll unify us just by us being in close proximity to one another.
But even so I'm glad you brought that up, right? And what Corey is talking about are some of the works of, our elders and our brothers, our scholars. Charles Blow, who has a book, and in his book, his narrative is about all of us moving to the southern part of the state and congregating all of our political capital. And all of our resources, to be honest with you. But then on the other side, Corey was talking about a work from Neely Fuller Jr., who says that we're in no condition to do anything like that. We should heal first before we start to come together.
Yeah, you can't be near one another if we're not healed.
So my point is, even with that, I've seen that become a contentious debate. It almost goes back historically. It's always been this way from my readings, in terms of like reading about WEB versus Booker T and their debates. Forget what side you fall on. Both of them are ancestors that have left tremendous work that should be studied. We always often talk about Malcolm and Martin and their differences of opinion, right? Okay. So, here's the point. Let me bring it all together. The point I'm making is sometimes we fall on either I'm on this side or I'm on this side, and sometimes that becomes problematic because we take our eyes off of them both moving forward. Like, so both trains are going this way, and we're like, I got to follow this way or this way. I can't, like, instead of thinking about the mission, we become like cheerleaders to one side, and that's problematic. What were you getting ready to add to that?
So what do you think, since this is an age-old question, what do you think? Do you think they were all pulling toward the same goal, which is, Black excellence and Black, pulling the condition of Black people forward? Because they did a lot of backbiting, and like, they ain't had no social media, but they did a lot of stuff to each other to hinder each other's missions.
Somewhat, right? But also
some of them did. I mean, listen, man, W.E.B. Du Bois and Garvey caught some nasty work from Black people.
No, but here's the thing. Here's the thing about history, and it's like, as time moves forward, we tend to romanticize times and people. I remember reading the writings of Ali, and
he was hated at the time.
Let me finish though. It shocked me because from my lifetime, he was always beloved by everybody. But when you read like things that happened in the moment, or you go back and read news clippings from Dr. King in the moment, or read the writings of other folks during the moment, you would think that. And this is some of our elders' fault too, because some of y'all be frauding. I love my elders, but some of y'all be frauding. You would think that everybody was the Dr. King, everybody was marching with him. Most of y'all hated him, and I'm talking about our folks, right? And again, I'm not throwing rocks, because it's all about context and time. It's a lot of nuance in that conversation. But the point is, a lot of it is because
he made that progress in spite of y'all. It's like the progress. Listen, I'm keeping it thou wow. He made progress in spite of a lot of y'all.
Yeah, but a lot of it though, honestly,
but the thing is, so many people were pulling on his side. It was tug of war, and he had he had so many people pulling on his side that the people that was hating, they just be you. What's that book?
But here's the thing, though. I don't even blame a lot of folks, right? So some folks, everybody's wired different, but a lot of it's based on fear, right? You've been conditioned, and then we don't talk about conditioning enough. A lot of our folks are conditioned to fear, and if I'm conditioned to fear, I don't want to be a rabble rouser at all because I'm worried about staying alive, right? Now, some people are just brave and go beyond that. They like, look, you know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to survive. I'm trying to live it to the limit and love it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, some people aren't just trying to be. And you need those folks. And that was another narrative that came out of what we just saw in Alabama is we not our ancestors, which was just trash too. A whole another trash narrative.
Trashiest, right? I hate, there's not very many statements that I hate. That is one. That is one that wrinkles my boxers every single time I see it, every time I hear it. Like, whoever writes that, I just want to knuckle them right in their eyeball. Like, do you know what our ancestors went through so that we can have the freedom to tell people that we not them? Like, man.
All right, so I mean, but getting to the original point of like choosing sides, a lot of times we find ourselves almost like looking for heroes as opposed to all being mission focused, right? So it's funny because we talked about us waking up and having those thoughts, but it reminds me of a quote from Mother Teresa that I always bring up when she talks about like, if everybody just cleaned in front of their own house, the whole world will be clean, right? So a lot of times we try to tackle things in big chunks instead of just breaking it down and all of us doing something as a collective, moving as a collective, which is what you started talking about when we started this conversation about some folks only focusing on themselves getting rich, right?
If everybody get rich, then we all rich. Then what's next to tackle though? Because all of our problems aren't. I mean, a lot of them are money based because that's why money, because money is a resource, right? And it's the resource that people use to discriminate against other reasons, right? But a lot of our problems is because we don't like each other.
It is, right? So it's that, but it's also like system wise, right? So if everybody in your clique is rich, what your clique is rugged, right? Sean Carter says. But here's the thing. A lot of it is because we don't like each other, but also a lot of it is because of the system that we're in. We're in a system that needs a bottom cast, right?
Yeah, it doesn't function.
So when you walk into that, having that understanding, then you can figure out how to navigate within the system, right? So some will say, destroy the whole system. If y'all ready to shed some blood, then that's a possibility. But destroy this whole system.
Get your clappers out and let's go get what we need.
Destroying this whole system is not going to happen without that bloodshed. Now, with that being said, having that understanding, how do you navigate within the system? And some say you can't, right? Some say you can't. I say we have to figure out how to.
At the highest level, right?
Yeah.
If we're not going to change it, or we're not going to destroy it, right? If we ain't going to arm up and destroy it, which that ain't happening. We can't even agree that we can't tell MJ and LeBron who the best player, right? So we trying to get everybody to come together to do something that'll benefit everybody. Like, that's the craziest part. It would benefit us all, but most of the things that benefit us all are done by very few people.
I saw a question. I was watching another YouTube channel. I'm trying to remember who it was. I stay on YouTube so much, man. I'm out of control. But I was watching a YouTube channel. A guy asked he was going around asking people. You know how people walk around asking questions? And the question he was asking folks on the street was like, if I could give you $5 million, but your worst enemy, the person you hate the most on this planet, would get 10, would you do it? Right?
Most people said no.
Yes, they did. And that was shocking to me. Like, wow.
And somebody that much that you would pass on $5 million. Like, damn. Like,
it reminded me of
who your ops.
It reminded me of something that I saw. I'm gonna find this clip and probably put it in our shorts. I saw Charlie Munger having a conversation at the shareholder meeting for the company he owns, the paper or whatever. And he said what he realized over the last several years is that the world doesn't move around. The world doesn't move based on greed. Everybody thinks that the world moves based on greed, and he said it's actually based on envy.
Yep.
And I said, damn. And when he was going around asking folks, obviously that's a sample. It's not a population. It's a sample. but it was still interesting to see people's response. That
anybody who turned that down got real. They got some deep seated things going on. Like somebody did something terrible or crazy to them. Like that's trauma.
But I bring that up because you said that everybody would benefit, and I feel like some people would rather them not benefit so they're quote unquote, as the young kids, so their ops won't benefit.
That's nuts. Yo, I can't see that with 1,000 pair of glasses. Like,
so this is why I've I'm a constant student, bro. Like I find myself, one of the things I learned about growing and getting old, becoming a middle-aged man, is that I'm constantly learning, and I love to get new information. I love to learn. I love when people disagree with me, because if you disagree with anything I say on this show or any of the platforms that we talk on, give me a different perspective. Yeah, educate me. Notice, just educate me is what I ask. But
bring some information, bring some data.
But what I've come to the conclusion is that, like, I've been in the space of like wealth building, real estate, personal finance, that whole thing, my entire adult life and working life. That's the only space I've ever worked in. Like I tell people, I'm not a cook.
You got 1,000 jobs in the same space,
bro. I can't even I don't like, someone like was making fun of me the other day because I was like, I don't know, like I know how to, but I won't change a tire. Like that's just, I don't do none of that stuff. All I know,
I can, but
I pay for AAA, dog. Like I'm not a chef. I'm not cooking nothing. I'm not putting together no furniture. Like I'm not doing none of that. But
you can't do. I'll whip up a meal, but
no, dog. But give me a spreadsheet, though. I'm getting busy. Like I know my wheelhouse.
Heavy with it. You getting crazy on it.
Yeah. Give me a spreadsheet, and we about to go to town. But no, but my point is, I've come to the conclusion that a lot of our issues, even as it pertains to money, are really, really mental health issues. Like
everything is about mental health, right? Because everything is about perspective, right? So,
but I'm talking about specifically a lot of our money issues. A lot of our money issues are, and even in having the conversations with you and like our brother Jay, and we start talking about like some of the decisions we make financially and how it all goes back to something from our childhood. I've only recently started to understand that after a 20 plus year career in real estate and finance. I've only started to really, really, really come to terms.
My inner child is YOLO, because I done seen so much. You know what I mean? Like, and that's how you still live like you 5 years old though. Like whatever. It's not like when I was 5, but like, you know what I mean? Like my whole childhood. When you see so much. It's hard to move me. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And that's one of the things that we do. We talk a lot about trauma. A lot of people don't talk about it, but living like your 5-year-old inner child it's a traumatic experience, and most people don't realize that they're doing it. You know what I mean? Like there's something that traumatized them that they have not dealt with.
So tying that into our overall conversation, having that understanding is like, we got some healing to do, but I'm not trying to damper the moment, because the energy that I felt around that, it's funny how that situation just brought around a certain energy, like the jokes, the memes, like we know how to have fun unlike any other culture. Like it's just an interesting thing to be a part of and to witness and to, be allowed to witness. But that idea of unity and understanding all the different hurdles we have to get over with, like over all the mental health stuff. Over the fact that most of us really dislike people to the point we're willing to like forego things ourselves to punish somebody else. Right. So
that's I cannot believe. Like,
so my point is, so I bring up all these things to tie it into. This is what we're up against when we're trying to unify.
Yeah, man. Right?
So you have to find your tribe, because another thing that I think we're guilty of is trying to bring everybody, instead of like building like a snowball where you start momentum.
It's all about similar energy, man. Like we was talking about what was that we were talking about. You build, then you hit a point where the ball starts to roll. You roll the ball uphill, then all of a sudden you get to that point where the ball starts to roll downhill.
Tipping point. Malcolm Gladwell talks about the tipping point. Hit that tipping
point. That's what it was called. Yeah, and that's all you need. You just need that tipping point. You get to the point where it don't matter what nobody else doing. You know what I mean? Because you already found that group of people. Like it was it was like the Panthers in the civil rights movement in the 60s, in the mid 50s to late 60s. And what it was is that they found a tipping point. They found so many people that, like, because like you were saying, a lot of those people were hated, but it didn't matter because the movement was already moving. You know what I mean? Like they found they found their tribe early. Now the reasons why that tribe broke up, you know, we I'm gonna talk about on air because I don't want nobody to, you know, come firebomb my crib.
But no, but that's another case of every time we've done that, whether we talk about historically the Freedmen's Bank, whether we talk, people love to talk about Tulsa, they wax poetically about Tulsa, what happened in Florida, like all these different places. It's not that we haven't done the work. We've done the work on multiple occasions. The powers that be have torn said work down, but that's why it's about doing the work in a different way. You have to learn from your experiences too.
And so that goes to my statement of it's not yours if you can't protect it. It ain't yours. It's not yours. It belongs to the person who can come take it from.
Yeah.
So
man, that's you said a lot right there, but no, but that's true. So I just think like having this understanding and still having to have unity. I thought it was an interesting conversation to have, but I think that a lot of it is just finding a tribe and building with it, right? So someone left a comment on one of our YouTube videos the other day, and he was like, he said something, and this was an older video. YouTube is weird because you'll get a comment on a video that you did 2-3 years ago, but his comment was something like, I can't believe you guys don't have more subscribers. Like, what you guys do is awesome, blah, blah, blah. And I appreciated the comment. It was amazing. But it made me laugh, though, because there are opportunities that we've had to bring on certain people or certain things that I know will take us to another level. But it comes with something else. It comes with the association of said person and getting away from what our main topic is. And mission. I think about what you said too.
The mission, man.
Yeah, when you do things for the mission, right, work, all that other stuff will come, and you know, you
10-year overnight sensation, man.
Listen, man, we from Philly, so I always think about the roots when we have those conversations. Do it your way. Eventually, it's gonna come anyway, but you got to do things your way.
They had to start their journey overseas, man. They had to go overseas to get the love they deserve.
And I know a lot of y'all like, yo, y'all just talking, but the reason that all this ties into our main conversation is because we're talking about unity and building. And when you know that you have these hurdles, right, you know that what the journey is going to be like. And our journey is to find like-minded people. And the great thing is we found a lot of those.
Who's gonna toss their head up though? That's all I need to know. Like who wants in the bat signal up, man?
So we found a lot of people that we work with on a daily basis who are our tribe, and we continue to build our tribe. And even if it's slow, we'll find more people that are like-minded, that are community-minded, community-based.
Yeah, when the ball start rolling downhill, y'all can still get on. It's
absolutely,
it's still gonna be moving fast.
So listen, if you are about this life, if you're about to build the Black Wealth life, if you're about building networks or whatever, make sure that you give us your feedback. What do you think about unity, and what did you think about the overall situation that happened in Alabama? Give us your feedback on that as well. One thing I was telling Corey before we came on air, I was like, another thing that's interesting about living in 2023 is like conspiracy theories. Now, conspiracy theories, and some will say a lot of this stuff is true, whatever, that all that's fine. But I love when something happens on a national stage because I'm just looking to see.
I want to see what they got to say.
Yeah, I want to see how they're going to spin it because sometimes there's no way you can make a conspiracy out of it.
How you going to get attention from this?
Dog,
like, what are you going to say? How are you going to get attention?
This whole thing was a psyop, like, which is why my man tossed the hat to swim, because it's distracting us from something. I've seen so many conspiracies. Like
I always think the government's distracting us. I do think that, but I don't think this was that. I just think it popped off. Like something, it popped up. Now the coverage of it might be the psyop.
Listen, man, sometimes it just happens, right? But for everybody watching or listening, here's the questions that we have based on this episode. First of all, what is your opinion of everything that you saw transpire in Alabama? What did it say to you about unity? That's the second question. The third question is this. Is there any lessons we can take from this to help us build in terms of nation building, community building, building Black wealth that we can take from that, right? Because I feel like there's a learning lesson in pretty much everything that happens that can be applied to us as a community. So what is that lesson from this? Corey, you got any other thoughts, bro?
Yeah, man. Love each other enough not to kill each other.
Oh, I thought you was about to.
No, I ain't gonna throw the header, man. I ain't throwing the best because ain't nobody rolling on me right now, man.
Listen, man, shout out to all our brothers and sisters who know how to swim, man. I'm a huge fan of swimming.
I can swim. Not as well as that brother. Not as well as that brother, but I can swim.
But shout out to our brother John, man, who was actually on the swim team when we was in high school, man. I saw he even had
John Carroll, who is an absolute animal right now. Let me give him his props. Dr. John Carroll.
Yeah, Dr. John Carroll, yeah.
Let me give him his full props.
But I was laughing because he made commentary. He was like, I ain't talking about nothing that happened. I just want to talk about the swim.
I'm getting busy in that water.
I thought that was funny because Dr. John Carroll was an amazing swimmer when we were young kids, man. So
yes,
shout out to Dr. John Carroll, man. With that being said, though, give us your feedback about this and about anything else we got going on. Make sure you share this content. We appreciate those that have come along our journey and supported us, especially those that have donated to our camp. We paid out all of the prize winners already from our camp, so now we're just looking to figure out what we can send each collective student. We're trying to put that together now. So shout out to everybody who supports our camp. Camp 2023 is officially over. It was amazing. And anybody that's come along the journey in terms of you subscribe to our YouTube channel, we appreciate it, man. We're still trying to get our YouTube numbers up. We got a goal. We got 4 months left. It's going to be, it is what it is, but we're going to keep pushing, keep cranking out content surrounding the topics we like to talk about. I could just easily get on here and start talking about something wild, like, start making conspiracies or cussing people out to try to get views, but that's not what we're about.
We can definitely do that. Because we got strong opinions on stuff. We just don't put all of them on the internet.
Nah. You want to hear some of our crazier opinions, our crazier things.
You got to meet us in person.
Yeah, that or pull up to our Friday show. We have fun on Friday.
We do have some fun on Friday.
Friday, 7 p.m. live. Like, we be on there with
I still be muted a little bit because there's things that I won't say on the net.
Everybody who's in our crowd, they say it for us, though. The folks that watch with us live, that be on there live with us,
they know what we be thinking. Listen, man. The pitchforks coming from my children is the thing that's the only because if you come at me, I'm trained for whatever you bringing. But my kids, man, I just want them to live in peace.
Also, we working right now. And I spoke to our brother Kamari, and also Daryl from Progress Plaza, actually. So we're trying to put something together for Black men in the month of October. So we got a couple months to try to pull that together. So be on the lookout for information about that as well. If you're out of town, pull up, come through, right? So we're trying to do something else in the community outside our camp. We're trying to continue to build on the momentum that we got with our camp. So we got a couple new projects. We still trying to bring together some information about the anti-recidivism project. That and this other project with just like a safe space for Black men to communicate. Like, so we got a lot going on, man. But everything is community based. It's about building and it's about loving one another, and we'll continue to do that. With that being said, as we always say, it's not about how much money you make. It's about how much you keep. Game elevates, and we'll see you guys on our next episode. Peace.